Listen, the world reserve currency system may be changing. And I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out, because if this is indeed happening, this affects everything: stocks, gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto, your savings, cost of living, all of it. See, most people think we are just dealing with normal inflation. A few wars here and there, some market volatility. I think something much deeper is happening right now. I think the monetary order itself is breaking. And even if I'm half right, you need to understand the people who position themselves early can protect themselves, maybe even benefit from all this, but the people that don't will absolutely get wrecked. So let's talk about it. For a long time, we had what was called the gold standard. And no, we were not walking around buying groceries with gold bars like pirates, but because the dollar was based on gold, it was basically a certificate of gold. Each dollar was a certificate of gold. Your dollars could be taken to the bank at any time and exchanged for real gold. Then, in 1971, Nixon ended that system. After that, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. It basically became a promise, an IOU that was backed by the military and global trade. Countries would sell goods and energy in dollars, hold dollar reserves, and recycle those dollars back into US treasuries and US assets. That system gave America a massive advantage. It allowed for the US to import a huge amount of stuff, run trade deficits, and borrow cheaply. And because of that, stocks went up pretty much forever. Debt expanded, consumption kept going, everyone felt richer, and the machine kept moving. But for that to work, the world has to keep wanting dollars, and this is one of the things that most people are missing. Most countries are diversifying their reserves. See, they're not as comfortable just sitting in dollars and treasuries anymore. They're buying gold, they're looking at silver and hard assets. Some are even looking at Bitcoin. Basically, the old financial model is dying. And you can already see new players rising to take the spot, such as BRICS, for example. And if you think BRICS and all this is the reason for all these wars going on right now, you are partly right. But you're missing the big picture. See, it's not so much that gold and silver is going up, it's the dollar and fiat that are going down. So this is amplifying everything. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments down below, and let me know what you think this all means, what's happening right now. I'd really like to know. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because a weaker dollar sounds bad. People hear weaker currency and automatically think weaker country. But that's not the case. See, it depends on the goal of the country. If your economy is built around importing, a strong currency helps. But if your goal is to rebuild manufacturing, bring jobs back home, and export more, then a weaker currency is actually better. And I think that's the direction that the US is moving into. I mean, this is what Trump has been saying. Trump wants lower rates and wants the dollar to be weaker. Powell doesn't seem to agree. But if the dollar weakens, that doesn't mean America is collapsing. It just means the role of the dollar is changing. Now, you might be thinking, Paul, then what about all this volatility? Why are things going up one day, things down the next? What's going on here? See, this is where people get confused. They think we can run a transition smoothly into another. Doesn't work that way. We can't. Transitions like this are messy, very messy. I'm talking about long, painful reset where the rules change, purchasing power gets squeezed, and the middle class get completely wrecked. because that's what a weaker currency does in practice. Yes, it may help rebuild industry, and yes, it may help exports, and yes, it may fit a national strategy, but in the meantime, normal people pay more, a lot more. Food costs more, energy costs more, imports cost more, assets cost more, and life costs more. And even if your income goes up, your money is still worth less and less. Now you might be thinking, okay, but Paul, that's already happening. The dollar is worth less today than 20, 30 years ago. I mean, I can see it in the supermarket. I'm buying less stuff for more money. And yes, that's true. But think amplified. And I talked about this in my last video where I explained that I think we are in a K-shaped economy. Think owners of real assets doing just fine while everybody else gets slowly priced out the game. And that's the part that most people don't really understand. Layer on top of that all the geopolitical mess we are in. Wars, trade wars, BRICS, trying to reduce dependence on the dollar, sovereign nations trying to regain control of energy and supply chains, and so on. Banks pushing for more control, asset managers pushing for more control, technologists building the rails for digital systems for more control. This is not one war. Guys, this is not one war. These are multiple hidden power and agenda wars happening at the same time. See, there are three sides to a coin. You have the heads, the tails, and the edge. And most people are just seeing one side of the coin. If they're smart, maybe two. But we can't see the edge. We can't see what's happening over here. There's 4D chess going on right now. Actually, scratch that. This coin doesn't even have three sides anymore. We're talking multiverse and quantum realms. And I wouldn't be surprised if Iron Man just showed up and gave me back that coin. So where does Bitcoin fit in all of this? Well, that's where it gets serious. If the old system is becoming less stable, and if major powers want more control, more surveillance, and so on, then Bitcoin may be the only thing that gives you a fighting chance. Because Bitcoin gives you an asset outside the traditional system. It has sound, hard money principles. And if you want to understand what that means, I'll leave a link in the description down below that explains all of this using seashells. Yes, I said seashells. Bear with me here. And yes, gold and silver matter too. So does real estate. So do productive assets. They matter. But Bitcoin may be the one asset that is native to the kind of world we're moving into. A more digital world. So you may be thinking now again, Paul, are you saying I should buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. While telling you I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. But yes, you should be positioning yourself in hard assets. And yes, we are in a bear market. And yes, Bitcoin, especially crypto, can go down a lot more. But you have to understand that as the value of fiat decreases and more uncertainty comes into play, you may not be able to afford to position yourself later on. Not just for crypto, but all assets. Shit is hitting the fan. And assets may be the only thing that saves you, and I'm not just talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about diversifying into gold, real estate, stocks, and so on. Now, I can't positively tell you when to buy. We may go lower. We may shoot straight down from here. Chances are, at least with crypto, you have time, and we may even get to much lower prices if we have a world crisis, which I talked about in past videos a year and 2 years ago. But maybe that doesn't matter, because AI could amplify all of this even further, and then suddenly you don't have a job, and basically you're worth a lot less. And that's why I keep saying this may be your last real cycle in crypto, your last chance to make a difference. And maybe you have 2, maybe 5 years, give or take, to get assets before the next version of this economy. And yes, that might sound extreme. I know, I get it. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong on the timeline. And I might be. But I don't think I'm wrong about the direction. Now, of course, this is all theory, and I might be completely wrong about all of this. As a matter of fact, I'm not even making any predictions. I'm just trying to stay safe and keep you safe. But the one thing I know for sure is that there are a lot of power plays going on right now. And because of AI, if you don't position yourself right now in crypto, in Bitcoin, in assets, you might actually stay poor or become poorer, especially if you're in the middle class. And by right now, I mean this year in 2026. So make sure you watch this video right here next. You don't want to miss this video. As a matter of fact, I beg you not to miss this video because I'm going to give you the best play for any scenario right now. Maybe this all blows over and it's a nothing burger, but maybe it isn't. See you in that video.